regarding the Power BI. Before explaining what is a Power BI and all, there are many people who are not from MSBI background or Tableau or ClickView background, freshly joined here today's session. For them, I just want to give a high level heads up what is a reporting. In a market, we have a concept called reporting or a reporting tools. What is a reporting is nothing but representing the data in the form of visualizations or with a proper structure. Proper structure. What do you mean by representing the data in the form of visualizations is nothing but as part of our organization, as part of our business process, we used to deal with a lot of data. Okay, so at that time, if I want to see how my business is going on or how my spending is going on, how it is going to benefit to my organization, in order to analyze that one, we have a lot of data will come every day. A lot of data used to come through different sources. That data, which is a raw data, we cannot analyze. We cannot, like if you have a 1 lakh of records or 10 lakhs of records or crores of records, I cannot find anything from that. So with the help of visualizations, we are going to analyze our business process very effectively. So the business user or the owner, he don't know anything about technical things. He don't know any about SQL or some other data science related concepts. In order to analyze the data, he don't know anything. He just used to spend the money, but he want to see how the business is going on. At that time, we have a concept called reporting. With the help of a reporting tools, we are going to visualize the data, and we are going to make the people, naive people, to make them understand with the help of reporting tools. So just give me a second. Many people are unmuted. Fine. So reporting is nothing but representing the data with respect to visualizations. Why we need to represent with respect to visualization is to make the naive people, the people who don't know anything about the technical knowledge, or the people who can't spend much time on it, to make them understand. For that, we have many tools in the market. Those we used to call it as reporting tools. We have many tools in the market. Those are SSRS, the Power BI, Tableau, ClickView, Spotfire, Crystal reports, Jasper reports. Like there are hundreds of tools are there. Out of that, we are going to discuss regarding the Power BI in entire our course. Before discussing a Power BI in a further level, understand one second. Okay, fine. So before discussing about a Power BI further level now, I'm just like wrapping up regarding this. What is the reporting? Reporting is nothing but representing the data in the form of a visualizations or generating through a proper structure. Let's consider a scenario like Crystal reports or Jasper reports. For all the working employees, we have a pay slips will be generated, right? So pay slips will be generated. There is a one table, employee salary table or whatever the table in the back end. We need to generate a pay slips for all the employees. Okay, so audio is, your audio is not connected. One second, all. There are some people facing issues with audio. Manoj, Chandra. So all the people at the time of joining, you need to select a computer radio. Okay, call over internet, you need to select. Okay, Jahanavi, I hope you are able to hear me now. Fine. Okay. So before continuing regarding the Power BI, I'm referring that reporting is nothing but representing data with respect to visualizations to make the naive people to understand. And as those people don't have an access on the database, or those people don't have a sufficient technical skills, or those people will not spend a time to generate a visualizations or analyze the data, there is a separate team called reporting developers who used to spend a time on extracting the visualizations, extracting the insights from the data. There we are using a concept called reporting. And there are two types of reportings are there. One is generating a structures, like as I said, like pay slips and all these kind of things, where we are going to follow proper structure, or we are going to follow up with the printable format of reports. All the crystal reports, Jasper reports are with respect to that thing, where you have a header will be there, footer will be there, page numbers will be there. We are going to generate prints from the data which is available on your backend. That is what SSRS, crystal reports, Jasper reports are going to do. And there are some visualization tools. There are some visualizations tools where those will not follow a structure, which is going to showcase the visualizations in easily understandable format. That is what visualization tools. Those two things you can consider as reporting, and these are all the tools that we have in the market. Now we are going to use Power BI. We are going to discuss the Power BI as part of our course. Now understand what is a Power BI and what it is going to provide. I hope all are settled now. Understand from here very clearly. If you have any questions, please let me know. Power BI is a visualization tool from Microsoft. It's a visualization tool from a Microsoft, and here it was came 2.5 years back officially. 2 years back officially. Power BI contains 3 components. Those are Power Pivot, Power Query, and Power View. Before starting explanation, just to follow from me, just to follow from here onwards, you will get a clear picture at the end of the class today, so that you can analyze much regarding the Power BI. Power BI is a visualization tool from Microsoft. It is just came 2.5 years back officially. It has 3 components. Those are Power Pivot, Power Query, and Power View. Power Pivot is nothing but this component. What it is going to do is, it will allow us to connect multiple sources. It is supporting almost 50 plus sources. People who ever joined, please go on mute. Jai Chandra, fine. Okay, fine. So Power Pivot, what it is going to do is, it will allow you to connect multiple sources of data, like SQL Server, Oracle, Teradata, Excel. There are many sources are there. Power Pivot help you to connect that many sources. Almost 50 plus sources support is there. So it will allow you to connect multiple sources, and we can load the data. We can create relationships between the data. So, and here we'll create measures. What is the measures? You will get an understanding by tomorrow. So what Power Pivot is going to do is, this component will allow you to connect multiple sources and load the data into Power BI. There you can create relationships. Technically, we used to call this concept as a modeling. Like modeling is a very big term, and Modeling is nothing but loading the data from a multiple sources and creating relationships between them. This is what a power pivot is going to do. Once you load the data and once you create a relationships, you can create a visualizations that we are going to do with the help of a power view. What power view is going to do is, with the help of power view, we can create visualizations. So you can create a bar charts, pie charts, and you can decorate them. Okay, you can provide a background colors, you can provide a data labels, you can increase the fonts, and everything you can do with the help of a power view. So Power BI contains three components: Power Pivot, Power Query, and a Power View. Power Pivot, with the help of Power Pivot, you can load multiple sources of data and you can create a relationships, which we used to call it as a data modeling. Once you load the data and create a model, you can create a visualizations with the help of a concept called Power View. And now, what is a Power Query? Power Query is nothing but, if you are loading the data from SQL Server or Oracle or Teradata or any SQL related database, you can write a query that select a star from table name, or you can write a select a star from table name, join conditions, where conditions, having by, order by. You can write a query according to your requirement, and you can load only required data. At that time, you don't require a Power Query. But sometimes your data will come from a non-SQL source. Your data is going to come from a CSV file or Excel file, or your data is going to coming from a online source, where you don't have a control on the source which is sending a data, but you can read the data. At that time, the data will not be available in a data modeling required format. Data modeling is nothing but you need to create a relationship. In order to create a relationship, one-to-many or one-to-one data need to have. We don't have a data in our required format in sometimes. At that time, Power Query will perform transformations. With the help of a Power Query, you can do a transformations like all SQL operations can be performed in Power BI with Power Query. See, I am not a big organization, but I have some data. I want to create a visualizations. In order to create a visualizations, I cannot purchase a, like Power BI is a $10 thing. I cannot purchase a SQL Server or Oracle, right? So what I will do, I will download a Power BI and I will load the data. After loading the data, I want to create a visualizations. I need to construct a model. At that time, Power BI itself supports the SQL capabilities, so that you can transform or you can tune your data according to your requirement with the help of Power Query. So these are the three things which are available as part of Power BI. So Power BI is nothing but it's a combination of three things: Power Pivot, Power Query, and a Power View. Power Pivot is nothing but it will help you to load different sources of data and do a data model, which is nothing but creating a relationships. Power Query is nothing but, before constructing a data model, if you need to do some transformations, if required some transformations, that can be achieved with the help of Power Query, if you are coming from a non-SQL sources. And once you are ready with your data model, in order to create a visualizations, we have a concept called Power View. This is what a Power BI contains. And there are different flavors of Power BI available. Power BI is available in different formats. Those are Power BI Desktop, Power BI Service, Power BI Mobile, Power BI Report Server, Power BI Embedded, and Power BI Premium. There are some other nonsense is there. Power BI Gateways or Gateways Visual Gallery. Power BI is available in these formats. Before explaining each and everything, Let me take 1 minute of time. There are many people who joined and their audio is not connected. Kindly don't mind, as it is a first class. Is a number also. Let me remove those people. Again they will join. Okay, fine. So Power BI contains those three things, and Power BI is available in these formats: Power BI desktop, service, mobile, report server, embedded, premium, gallery, and all those things. Now, what a Power BI desktop is? Power BI desktop, same, it is going to contain these three things, which contains a Power Pivot, Power Query, and Power View. Whatever I explained, everything is available as part of Power BI desktop, and it is a free software. Understand from here very clearly. It is a free software. We can download from Power BI site, and which contains Power Pivot, Power Query, and a Power View. Now, what are the limitations of Power BI desktop? Why I am telling the limitations is, Power BI desktop you can download from a Power BI site. It is a completely free, and once you download that one, it contains a three components: Power Pivot, Power Query, and a Power View, which I already explained. The limitations which are available here are, here you can load the data from any source, you can construct a model, you can create a visualizations, but you cannot perform a scheduled refresh. Okay, you need to perform a manual refresh only. Let's assume I create a visualizations now. After 3 days, if I want to see, I need to manually refresh it. After 5 days, if I want to see, I need to manually refresh. I cannot share that kind of report with my business. They are not interested to perform a manual refresh for every 30 minutes of time. Okay, so here the limitation, scheduled refresh is not there in Power BI desktop. Similarly, when you create a report with a Power BI, if I want to share it with others, we don't have any medium like from Power BI desktop. You cannot share your report with the help of Power BI desktop itself. We cannot share it with anyone through Power BI desktop. If you wanted to share a file which is developed with the Power BI desktop also, if it contains more than 20 MB or 50 MB of memory, it will not accept over a mail. So sharing is not there in Power BI desktop, scheduled refresh is not there, and one of the main concept called dashboard we cannot create with Power BI desktop. These are the limitations which are available on a Power BI desktop. Okay, so Power BI is available in different formats, different flavors. Out of it, first one is Power BI desktop, which is free. Everyone can able to download and use it, and which contains a Power Pivot, Power Query, and a Power View, and it has a limitation that scheduled refresh is not there, and you cannot create a dashboard, and you cannot share your report with anyone with the help of Power BI Desktop. In order to overcome that limitations, we have another concept called Power BI Service. That we used to call it as a Power BI Pro, okay, or Power BI Cloud, or Power BI SaaS, Software as a Service. Whatever the name that we refer, it is only the key thing. The Power BI Service, it's a Power BI Pro, it's a 2 months free. And in order to work with the Power BI Service, we need to have Office 365 email ID. And what it can do is, it can do all admin activities of Power BI. If you want to do something with respect to Power BI admin, like if you want to do some administration with respect to Power BI, means everything is available here. And it is a web-based server. It is a web-based server. So it is not on-premise server. So everything is available on a cloud. You can log in from anywhere. You can create a reports or dashboards from anywhere. You can administer from anywhere. So Power BI Service or Power BI Pro is nothing but a web-based server, and 2 months it's a free. If you have Office 365 email ID, then after per month it's a 10 USD rate. If you want to use that one, you need to pay 10 USD, and you can do all admin activities over here. What you can do here is, we can schedule a data refresh. What do you mean by data refresh? Is reloading the data. Okay, you can perform a scheduled refresh, and we can create dashboards, and we can share the reports, and we can provide a security. Everything you can do from a Power BI service. So most of the people will simply download the Power BI desktop software, and they will load 2 sources. They will create 4 visualizations, and they will say that I know Power BI. And if you go for an interview, they will be estimated based on a Power BI service, not with the help of a Power BI desktop. Okay, so Power BI service contains all these things, and it's a web-based server, and it has Power View. It don't have Power Pivot and a Power Query. You already understood what is a Power Pivot and Power Query. Power Pivot to connect multiple sources or different sources and do a data modeling. Power Query transformations, and Power View visualizations. Power BI service contains only Power View. It don't contain Power Pivot and Power Query. Why it contains Power View, you will get a clear understanding in next 15 minutes of time. This is about a Power BI service. If you want to do something which is not available in Power BI desktop, that you can do with the help of Power BI service. This is only the place where you can do administration. Okay, so this is what Power BI service. The next one is Power BI mobile. Power BI mobile, it is nothing but a mobile based application, mobile based app. You have Windows app, Android app, iOS app, everything is there. It is a mobile based application, and we can access the reports or dashboards which are shared with us, or whatever we created from anywhere. So Power BI mobile, there is no development there. We are not going to develop something in a Power BI mobile. It is for accessing purpose. Whatever the reports that you are created, or whatever the reports which are shared with you, if you wanted to access from anywhere, Power BI mobile is there. And Power BI report server, which was introduced 2 months back. Like on a June 1st, it's not 2 months, almost 4 months it happened. So on a June 1st this year, Power BI report server was introduced. It is nothing but on-premise server. Okay, so previously from last 2 years we have only web-based server, which is nothing but a Power BI Pro or Power BI service. Recently, one second. Okay, so recently they introduced a Power BI report server, which is similar to SSRS based server, like advanced version of SSRS server. What is the use of this one is, instead of deploying your reports into a cloud or moving your data to cloud, you are deploying your reports in an on-premise environment, and you are going to share your reports within the network. If you want that kind of functionality, Power BI also providing on-premise environment, which is similar to SSRS server. On-premise deployments will be happened here. Only for the deployment purpose it is. And one second. So Power BI report server is on-premise server for deployment purpose instead of deploying in a cloud. If you want to deploy in an on-premise environment, we have Power BI report server is there. Other than that, we don't have any new functionalities. And here we have some more capabilities called page-related reports can be created with the help of Power BI report server. On a broader approach, if you want to tell, in the next 2 years or 3 years of time, SSRS will be completely deprecated, and we are going to have only Power BI. So Microsoft introducing all SSRS features in a Power BI report server. So initial version was launched, the capabilities are keep on adding. Okay, that is what Power BI report server. Power BI embedded. What do you mean by Power BI embedded is? Okay, fine. So if you are not able to hear, I can't do anything. So Power BI embedded is nothing but, as I said, if you want to share the reports with anyone, we require a Power BI Pro license, which is nothing but a $10. I have 100 customers. I want to share my insights with my customers. If they want to access my insights, everyone need to have a Power BI Pro license. 100 into $10,000 per month I need to spend. Instead of doing that, I want to provide only read access. I don't want to spend much money. At that time, what I can do is, I can create reports in my Power BI service account, and I can keep that report as part of my website. In my .NET site or Java site, whatever the website that I have, I can embed whatever the report that I created within an HTML page, and I can share it with them. So they can interact with the report, so that without spending any money, so I can share my report with multiple people. So Power BI embedded is nothing but embedding our report in a customized site, like in a third party application. If you want to embed your Power BI report into any third party application or your website, you can make it with the help of Power BI embedded. And Power BI gateways and a visual gallery, this is going to cover as part of a Power BI service. It is for the sake of showcasing. We have many things. Okay, so Power BI gateways is nothing but you have to connect with on-premise source with a cloud database, cloud reports. We are going to use that one. Those will be covered here. No need to worry at all. And Power BI embedded, as I said, for embedding in a third-party application. And Power BI Premium is nothing but it is for an enterprise organizations, where instead of purchasing a single licenses, where you can purchase through a pack. Okay, so for a companies, it has some features like with respect to licenses, with respect to storage, with respect to refresh rate. For organizations, it is having some capabilities. It is not with respect to developers. These are all the different flavors which Power BI has. For anyone who want to work on a Power BI, who is going to get a job, they require only Power BI desktop, Power BI service. No one is asking a Power BI report server yet. No one is asking Power BI mobile and anything. But these are the different flavors of Power BI which is available. Before continuing further, I am wrapping with a single minute note. Power BI is nothing but a combination of three things: Power Pivot, Power Query, Power View. Power Pivot, you can load the different sources of data and you create a model. Power Query, sometimes you don't have a data in SQL format. You are getting a non-SQL data. At that time, if you wanted to transform your data, Power Query is there. To represent through visualizations, we have a Power View is there. Power BI is available in a Power BI desktop format, which contains whatever we discussed, and it has a limitation of scheduling data. Power BI service is nothing but it's a web-based server. You can share your reports, you can create the dashboards, you can do a refreshing, You can implement a security, everything from here. And Power BI mobile is nothing but you are not going to develop anything, you are going to interact with the reports with the help of Power BI mobile. Power BI report server is nothing but it's a on-premise server where you can deploy instead of cloud with your local environment. And the last one is Power BI embedded. Whatever the report that you created, you can embed in any application or any HTML page with the help of Power BI embedded without spending any amount. You can share your report with lakhs of people. And Power BI Premium, it is for organizations, for licenses and storage. All these features it is going to provide by the Power BI Premium. These are the different flavors of Power BI. Up to here, does anyone has any questions? There are still some people are saying audio issues. I will share the video. I cannot spend much time on that one now. Anyone has any questions up to here? Arpit, Murali, Brahma, Rani, Hari, Jahnavi, Jaychandra, Kiran, Manasa, and Manikumar, Raj, Ramanjanelu, Shivprasad, Sridevi, Vishnu.
Srinu, what is SSRS?
SSRS is a reporting tool from a Microsoft only, and Power BI also reporting tool from a Microsoft. And what is the difference between SSRS and Power BI? We are going to have a discussion now.
No, full form I am asking.
SQL Server Reporting Services.
Hello, Srinivas.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, you said that Power BI report server is the same way. Is Power BI report server behaves the same way like SSRS reports, where
yes.
we can do scheduling, all the stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
And like as I said, like Power BI report server is going to replace SSRS report server and complete SSRS reports in the coming days.
So in that scenario,
yes.
Are we going to handle the Power BI Pro? Something is the Power BI service? Is the Power BI report server is also replacement Power BI service?
Power BI, yes. If you consider that you don't want a cloud environment, you want only on-premise environment at that time, yes.
What is on-premise?
On-premise is nothing but the data which is available on a physical servers. Okay. So where you can access within the network.
Okay.
The cloud is nothing but you can access from anywhere. So whatever the SSRS is currently doing, the reports that you are creating with SSRS, you can access within the network, right? Correct. Or whatever the data that you have, you can access within the network. But I want to access from anywhere. You have Azure concept is there, you have a Power BI, complete cloud computing is there. So if whatever the reports that you created, you feel that, boss, I don't want to share it with anyone, or my resources don't want to access in a outside environment, they want to access within the network. At that time, instead of purchasing a Power BI Pro, you can work with a Power BI report server within the network. However, SSRS is working in the same way, Power BI report server also will work.
Is Power BI report server also free?
It's a free for now. Yes.
Okay.
Anyone has any other questions?
Srinivas, good morning. This is Brahma.
Yes, Brahma, go ahead.
Yeah, I was new for Power BI. I don't know what are the issues and what are the limitations with the Power BI.
Everything I'm covering now.
And compare with like nowadays, everybody say data science and data analytics. It's like part of the module, or there is some difference.
So even though data science or whatever Power BI is required, I will give a complete scope of Power BI, limitations of Power BI, or comparison with SSRS, and what is the use of Power BI. Everything I am going to cover as part of this session.
I have some experience on the SSRS in long back, 5 years back.
Okay.
So compared to like license wise and administration side, data connection side, compared to Cognos or some SaaS. So could you please believe that like license?
I will give with respect to SSRS and with respect to scope. Okay. So frankly, I am a pure Microsoft developer. So Cognos, and I don't know Cognos regarding that, but I am aware of Tableau and everything. I will give a clear picture everything as part of this session.
And it's any required for like Microsoft Azure technologies for after 1 year it is required. I will showcase the scope, what exactly, where Power BI is, and what is the scope of Power BI. If you learn by spending some amount now,
Is it useful after 1 year or 2 year, or what is the scope of Power BI? I will explain everything as part of this session.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So before continuing further, anyone has any other questions?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, Srinivasa. Can we use more than multiple 50 resources? More than 50?
More than 50 means you have almost 50 plus sources support is there. First of all, what is the source that we need to, like if the source is not there, you need to get the source into SQL Server format. And I'm telling you a direct answer, even though Power BI is supporting a 50 sources, Power BI directly accept only 4 sources as a preferred sources. If you are not using those 4 preferred sources, your product will not support. Your product will not work. Okay. So that is what the best practice. So let's see, if Power BI support all the sources, no one will purchase SQL Server, right? No one will purchase Azure. Okay. They are showcasing that they are going to support 50 sources. But as part of a industry level, Power BI supports only 4 sources. If you have more than 2 GB of data, you just need to purchase SQL Server, Azure. That is what a best practice. We are going to understand that one.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey Srinivas, this is Arpit.
Yes, Arpit, go ahead.
Can you also compare Power BI to Tableau?
I will not compare. I will compare with SSRS and I will showcase what are the differences. And in order to compare, I need to be aware of Tableau, right? So I'm not expert in a Tableau. Okay. So
Okay.
if anyone of you are aware with Tableau, so whatever the features that I am telling you, you will understand, or like does it having advanced features or not?
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, fine. So I hope like the other people are fine with it. Yeah, go ahead. Yes, sir.
Can we create customized visualization in Power BI?
Yes, we can create with the help of ActiveScript and .NET Knowledge support. You can create a custom visualizations. There are already almost 120 custom visualizations already placed where you can directly go ahead and use it. But if you have any requirement of using it, if your client asking any custom custom visualizations, you can create it. And as part of this course, I am not going to cover that one. As I said, that requires active scripting, .NET, Node.js, and everything. Okay. So, but we can create it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And at this point of time, no companies are asking for that requirement also. But in the future, after 1 year or 2 years, like if the competition is very high, people might look for that option also. Fine. So, any other has any questions?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, in environment, what will you do actual work?
1 second. Can you please repeat your question?
Yeah, actual work I am asking. What will do in environment?
What do you mean by?
Means what will do, how the requirement will come, and what will do
That I will explain.
Okay.
Okay. So, anyone has any other questions or whatever I discuss regarding the different flavors of Power BI and what do you mean by Power BI? Anyone has any questions? Go ahead.
It would be better if you share the today's session brief content so that we can go through it once.
I will share the recorded video, like whatever you missed, and this document, everything I will share.
Fine, thank you.
And Srijit.
Yeah, Srinivas, you'll be providing examples on Power BI reports or how do we connect it?
Yeah, everything. See, like whatever I explained, that different flavors. In next 25 days of time, we are going to spend a time on that. Okay, it's just a high level view what Power BI contains. Okay, so we are going to have a discussion on Power BI desktop almost 10 days of time, Power BI service 5 days of time. We are going to discuss everything. It is just a high level introduction.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So I am continuing further level, and before continuing, I am giving a clear heads up that for everyone in this session, I am going to give a clear picture on what is a Power BI, what it contains, what is the scope, what I am going to provide, what you require as part of a Power BI developer, everything I will cover. And it might extend it for 1.5 hours or 2 hours of time. From tomorrow onwards, the first session of Power BI will start. Okay, I don't want to break this session into 3 sessions in order to make you people are aware of what is Power BI. So that's why I scheduled on a Sunday. It might extend up to 2 hours of time, but I want to give a clear picture so that after the class you will get a clear picture of what is a Power BI. You can go and speak with someone regarding the Power BI, or you can analyze regarding the Power BI. So don't worry about the time. I will give a clear picture. Now these are the different flavors of Power BI, and most of the people join today with a passion of changing a technology, or looking for a job, or like going into a Microsoft Azure cloud environment. For them, most of the people will have a question that, boss, I will learn a Power BI, and how much experience I can go as a Power BI developer? What experience I can keep as a Power BI developer? For your question, as you might aware that 2.5 years of experience officially I can showcase, but Power BI is there almost 8 years back itself. From last 8 years we have Power BI. For that, understand this picture. Power Pivot was introduced in 2009 as part of Excel. In Excel, we have a Power Pivot concept is there, which is available in 2009 itself as a add-in. Then after, in 2012, we have Power View was introduced in Excel in 2012. In 2013, a concept called Data Explorer in Excel introduced as a plugin again in 2013. So I said, boss, Power BI is nothing but a Power Pivot, Power Query, and Power View. Power Pivot is there in 2009 itself, and Power View is available in 2012 itself. And as part of 2013, Data Explorer was introduced, which was renamed as Power Query. So by 2013 itself, everything is on place: Power Pivot, Power Query, Power View. And there are concepts called MIS reporting, or Excel based reporting we used to call, which is nothing but a Power BI only. Okay, so as by 2013 everything is there and everyone creating the reports in Excel, but we have some limitations. You cannot perform a scheduled refresh. Or you cannot share your Excel file which contains 5 GB of data over a mail. These are the two limitations. As we have these limitations, and at that time, 2014-15 time, the Tableau and ClickView got a good market with respect to data visualizations. What Microsoft done is, Microsoft provided Power BI service with a SharePoint integration to support these two features in January 2015. So as we don't have a scheduled refresh, and as we don't have any sharing capacity, as we don't have any dashboards concept, in 2015 January, Microsoft introduced Power BI service with SharePoint. It was a great success. Yet at that time, Microsoft introduced a concept called Power BI Desktop with a combination of these three things: Power Pivot, Power Query, Power View, without MS Office concept, without Excel concept. Those three things they kept together, and they released a Power BI Desktop in June 2015. So the Power BI is not a new one which is released in June 2015, which has been there from a long time. All are available by 2013 itself, and those are available from 2009 itself. Those three things together created as a separate tool as a Power BI Desktop. So if you want to go with 4 years of experience or 5 years of experience, yes, you can go. If you learn whatever I am going to say, what is a Power Pivot, what is a Power Query, what is a Power View, you can tell that from last 5 years you have been working on a Power BI and Excel based reporting. That is one option. If you say that, boss, you are saying everything Excel, I don't know anything about Excel, I am a SQL Server DBA, I am a SQL Server developer, I am a SQL Server like MSBA developer. In that scenario, SQL Server 2012, a new feature was introduced. That is nothing but tabular SSAS. In SQL Server 2012, which is released in 2012, April I think so, at that time a new feature was introduced. That name is tabular SSAS, which is nothing but Power Pivot version of SQL Server. So Power Pivot is there in SQL Server from 2012 itself. From last 5 years it is there. You can say that, boss, from last 5 years I have been working on Power Pivot concepts. And what about Power Query? I will tell you. Does you require a Power Query or not? I am going to tell you. So officially Power BI came 2.5 years back. Unofficially it has been there as a complete version from 2013, and from 2009 itself it is there. So for your 4 years, 5 years, it is not at all a matter. And they also know that officially it came 2 years back. If you say that I know Power BI, you will get scheduled an interview. If you speak whatever I am providing, out of it, if you learn 20%, you can crack 10 interviews. But I am referring, at that point of time, you will have a question on how much experience I can go. 4 years, 5 years, nothing. And now, this is about history of Power BI, which has been there from a long time, but as an independent product, it is there from June 2015. It is nothing is new here. And in a SQL Server, it is there in 2012 itself. Now, before continuing about a Power BI or a scope, what is the difference between SSRS and a Power BI? SSRS, SQL Server Reporting Services, it's a component of MSBI. And Power BI, both are Microsoft related reporting tools. Now, everyone is looking for a Power BI. What is the difference between SSRS and Power BI? Yes. So if you keep 4 years of experience on Power BI, if they ask you, boss, why you are using a Power BI? As we have SSRS, you need to tell something, right? So SSRS, these reports are read-only reports. Whatever the reports that you created or deployed, user can select their drop-downs and they can get the report. Then after, they cannot interact with the report. Interaction is not there, only read-only copies. And these can be accessed within the network. Within the network only you can access. If I want to access from anywhere, it is not possible. And we don't have dashboard concept. This is what the hell, like where the Tableau and ClickView got a good market over a 2014, 2015 of time. Okay, so most of the people who know SQL, they got MSBI jobs, and people who don't know SQL also, they got a Tableau jobs by learning a 15 days of Tableau and a ClickView over 2 years back. And at that time everyone said that MSBI don't have a capacity of a dashboard in SSRS. So we don't have a dashboard concept in SSRS at that time. In latest versions we have, and these can be accessed within the network, and it is only a printable format of reports. Okay, it's not printable format of reports. These are the read-only reports. For a structural reporting, like if you wanted to create a reports with a proper structure, like headers, footers, alignments, and everything, this would be helpful. So you can consider that these are read-only reports. Okay, where user can see the report, cannot interact with the report. That is the first point. And you can access the report within the network. If you wanted to access the report from anywhere, it is not possible. We don't have a dashboard concept, and we have limited sources support. These are the SSRS limitations you can consider. And what Power BI can do is, Power BI is, here reports are interactive. You can interact with the report, whatever the report which is shared, user can able to interact with the report. All the dashboards are like the pie charts, bar charts, tables, everything user can able to interact in however he want. He can see different views of insights. That is one thing. And this is what one of the main feature, self-service. Here, as we are going to share our reports through a Power BI Pro, we can access the report from anywhere. You can access the report from anywhere, and here user can interact with the report and the dashboard. Along with that, don't worry about my spelling mistakes. User can able to interact with the report and dashboard. Along with that, user can take a copy of the report, dashboard, or a data set. What is the dashboard? I will explain. He can take a copy of it. He can interact with it. He can take a copy of it, and he can modify the report according to his requirement, or he can create his own report. This is what the main concept of Power BI. Okay, understand this point very clearly, so that you will feel that what SSRS can do or Tableau can do. So I am referring that developer is going to create a data set with the help of a data model, and then after he is going to create a report with a multiple pages. Then after he is going to create a dashboard. What is a dashboard? I will explain. So he created these things. Then after he is sharing that one with the user. What a user can do is, user can interact with that report and a dashboard. He can see that report and dashboard. Along with that, what he can do is, he can take a copy of it. He can take that copy. Once he took a copy, what he can do is, he can modify the report. He can modify that report or dashboard according to his requirement. He cannot change my report, but he can change whatever the copy that he took. Okay, so he can take a copy of it, and he can modify the report and dashboard, and he can see the insights however he want. Along with that, he already took a copy of the data set also. He can create his own reports or his dashboards from my data set. Okay, this is what a Power BI supports. What a business user can do is this one. Like, as a Power BI developer, you are going to construct a data model with the help of a DAX, SSAs, everything, and you are going to create a basic insights whatever they want, and you are going to release it. User can interact with it, and then after he can even at this point of time people are not doing it, but he can take a copy of it, he can modify it, the report, and he can see according to his requirement, and he can create their own reports. That is what people call it as a self-service. We are getting a data set and we are going to create our own reports from anywhere. Now understand a small logical point. The user or the developer is sharing the report with the help of Power BI service, web-based application, to the user. User is accessing the report or dashboard with the help of Power BI service, web-based application. Through web he is accessing, and he is taking a copy it. I said he can modify the report. He can create a report, I said. In order to create a report or in order to modify the report, what we require? Power View is required. What is the concept of Power View? Creating a visualizations. If the user need to modify the report or create a report, he require a Power View in a Power BI service. That is the reason I said, boss, Power BI service contains a Power View. Why not it is a Power Pivot? Why not Power Query? Only why Power View is, with the help of a Power BI service, user can access the reports from anywhere, and we are providing the access to modify the reports or create the reports. In order to create or modify the reports, we require a Power View. That is the reason Power BI service contains a Power View. So this is what the feature of Power BI, where developer can create a report and dashboard and share with the user. User can access it, and user can take a copy of it, and user can modify it. User can create his own reports with the help of the data set. which we used to call it as a self-service. From anywhere he can do it. So that is what one of the features. Does anyone has any questions on it before removing this one?
So, for example, if you
Go ahead.
if anyone access this links dashboard kind of thing, so he can modify anything. But while giving, if you give all control to that guy,
Okay.
he can do anything, right?
See, anything means you are going to share with the user, your user only, and he can do it on his copy. He is not going to change your copy. This is the copy you are sharing with everyone. Okay, he is going to take a copy, and on his copy he can do anything. And here, let's consider a point that he can access the data set. He can create a report. Once he create a report, he cannot share with anyone. If he need to share this report, you need to provide a permission that this guy can create a report and share it with anyone. You need to provide a permission. Without your permission, he cannot share a report which is created with your data set.
Okay, got it.
That is what we are going to understand later time. At a high level, at a high level, yes, this guy can create a report, but if you need to share with other, your permission is required.
Got it.
Yeah.
Srinivas, Brahma here.
Yes, Brahma, go ahead.
I have one small doubt.
Go ahead.
There is a data source and a data model and data sets are there, na? First design.
Yes, yes.
Say there is data model level where you have to prepare that like kind of dimensions of tables.
At a data model, we are going to create that one. Yes.
So there we can prepare the data measures all things there. Na?
Everything there only. This one.
Okay. So it is dynamically, automatically refresh or
we need to take care of that one. How to refresh everything, we need to take care.
From data source to data models, right?
Yes. We need to take care of it.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. I will explain that one also now in a while. Anyone has any questions on it? So Arpit, Murali, Rani, Jaychandra, Kiran, Manoj, Manasa, Manikumar, and Nagarjuna, your audio is not connected. And Raj.
Yeah, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Is the write back option is there for the end users when they want to modify underlying data set?
They cannot. For now, they cannot. Yeah.
Okay.
Recently, 1 or 2 days back, I read regarding that one, but we don't have that feature at this point of time.
Alright, but the Tableau does have. That's the reason I'm just.
Yeah, I think that is the thing. I just read like 1 or 2 days back. So I hope all are clear. If anyone has any question, please go ahead. You can unmute and you can go ahead, or you can message me. Or if you don't have any question, mention that no, you don't have any questions as part of chat.
And Srinivas, how long you're gonna keep the session?
For today, it will be under 20 minutes or 30 minutes of time. I'm not sure. And for every day, it will be 7:30 to 8:30 only. I used to rush for office. Sharp 8:30, I will close the session.
Okay.
For today, it will be like I need to provide clear picture, so it might extend under 30 minutes of time. 30 or 40 minutes. Okay, fine. I'm removing this one, and that is what the one of the feature, and it has almost 50 plus sources support. As I said, for one of the person's answer, I think Srijit or someone, Jay Chandra, Power BI officially showcasing that it is supporting 50 plus or 60 plus sources. As part of a best practice, as part of an organization level, you must go ahead with only 4 sources. That I will tell you later. So as part of a best practice, you must go with only 4 sources. And it has almost a 150 visualization support and easy customization. Visualizations and easy customization is there. So these are the features of Power BI. And when to use Power BI, when to use SSRS is SSRS whenever your client is particular about a format, or whenever your client want PDF generated reports or a proper tables, or like my clients generally used to be very particular about a font, border colors also, and headers and footers. They don't want to interact with the report, they just want a printed reports. At that time you need to go ahead with SSRS, okay, for now. And if your client wants a self-service or a visualizations, or if you want to showcase the insights, okay, or cloud, like if you wanted to access the reports from anywhere, you need to go ahead with Power BI. For now everyone is looking for cloud based reports only, that's why everyone is accessing a Power BI. So in that scenarios you can use SSRS and Power BI. Before continuing further, I am keep on repeating a concept called dashboard. What is a dashboard? Is nothing but in Power BI desktop, the report structure is like this. By default one page will be there, and if based on your requirement you are going to create a multiple pages. Each page you are going to create a multiple visualizations. Each page will contain a multiple visualizations. You are going to create a report with a multiple pages, and each page with a multiple visualizations, and each page you are going to represent a separate module, separate entity you are going to represent. This is a report you are going to create in Power BI desktop. Once you create this report, you are going to publish in a Power BI service. The same report will come. Then after you are going to create a dashboard. What is a dashboard is nothing but it's a high level representation of your report. What it contains is visualizations from different pages of a report. High level insights it is going to contain. So this is what user will see as a first page, and whenever the user interact with the visualization over here, he will be redirected to this page and he can interact with the complete report. Whenever he click on this one, he will be redirected to this page, he can interact with the complete this page. So a dashboard is nothing but it's a high level representation of a report. It is going to contain a high level insights, like high level insights of your report. It is containing a visualization from a different pages of a report. At this point of time, that is a statement. If anyone asks, boss, your dashboard can be contain a visualizations from a different report, means yes. A dashboard can contain the visualizations of different reports also. In a single dashboard, I am going to keep a different insights which can be a part of a different reports. This is also possible, but this is a more depth. We don't require all these things as part of first session. A dashboard is nothing but a high level information of a report. Why? Because a report contains a multiple pages. If a report contains only one page, you don't require that one. As a report contains a multiple pages, multiple modules or multiple entities information it is going to contain, a high level information you are going to keep it. In a simple terms, if you have any business, you have a CRM concept will be there, leads and sales information will be there. Leads and sales, they will not be linked together generally. Why? Because we are going to generate a leads from a different sources, like a social media or different channels we are going to generate. That leads and sales information, there will not be a link. Okay, so at that time, if I want to represent both of them, I will create two report pages. One is leads information, how many people came from a social media, how many people came from a direct visit, or how many people interacted over a phone, or what is the different age ranges. That is one page, and the sales information in one page. Those two things I am representing on a dashboard in a single page. Okay, so a dashboard is nothing but a high level information of your report. Why? Because it is containing a multiple pages of report. That is what a dashboard. Dashboard creation is nothing, within a minute of activity. Once you are done with your report, dashboard is easily created. So that is what a dashboard. We are going to have a discussion on it. Now that is what the differences between the SSRS and Power BI and what Power BI contains. And now what is a generic report structure? So So there are lot of reporting tools are there, lot of jobs also there. Every tool having a good jobs, frankly telling you. But at this point of time, Power BI having a bit more edge when compared to ClickView and other tools. And for now, leave about a jobs thing. If you want to become a reporting developer, or if you are a report developer, what are the roles and responsibilities, or what are the activities that you are going to do is, if you want to create a report, whatever the reporting tool it is, you need to prepare the data if the data is not ready. I am telling you, as part of our sessions or any one sessions, data always be ready. They will keep an Excel file or one SQL Server database. They will keep ready. They will simply load the tables and they will create a visualizations, and we feel that amazing. There is no work, simply drag and drop we feel. But in a live environment, you need to prepare a data, most of the cases. So for that, you require SQL knowledge. Frankly telling you, it's not mandatory to having SQL to learn a Power BI, but after getting a job, it is required. SQL is required. Whatever the technology that you select, SQL is required. So if the data is not ready, you need to prepare the data with the help of SQL queries. So basic SQL is required. And next, once the data is ready, you need to load the tables in reporting tool and create a model. And you need to load the tables and you need to create a relationships between them, and you are going to create a measures or calculated measures, the Tableau people used to speak. We are going to create a measures and creating a relationships in a tool. So once the data is ready, you need to load the data in a reporting tool and you need to create a model. If required, we need to do transformations. Then after, if not required, directly create a visualizations and customize them. Customize is nothing but like creating a visualization is nothing, okay, but you need to make it attractive. So that one is, you need to design it like in such a way that it is attractive. You need to increase the font size, you need to provide a background colors, you need to provide a borders, you need to provide titles. Lot of customization is there, alignments, everything you need to take care. So that decoration I'm calling it as customize. Once you done that one, you need to implement a security. Who can see it, who cannot see it, if they can see it, what they need to see it, everything you need to provide a security. Most of the people will have a basic question that, does Power BI support dynamic security? Or they will tell a scenario that, boss, if I have a customers in India, they need to see only India data. If I have a customers in US, they need to see only US data. Yes, Power BI support. As a simple statement, we need to apply a security based on our business requirement. Then after, once you create a report, once you provide a security, what you need to do? You need to deploy it. And then after, you need to share it and you need to configure a automated data refresh. This is the thing for any reporting tool contains. Whatever the reporting tool, if you want to create a visualizations, this is the thing. These are the steps, blind steps. Okay. If you are comfortable with one reporting tool, other two reporting tools are nothing. Within a 3 or 4 days of time, you can learn that reporting and you can go ahead as that reporting developer. Okay. So as I have the people from a DBS, I have the people from non-MSBI background, I am saying this one. These are the only steps that you need to take care as part of a reporting developer. But as we are a Power BI developers, here also, even a Power BI developer, the same concept is there. But we need to prepare the data required, loading and creating a model of Power Pivot, Power Query, Power View, and then after you need to implement a security and after security, you need to publish on Power BI service. After publishing, you need to create a dashboard. And then after, you need to share it, and then after you need to perform an automated data refresh. These are the blind steps as a Power BI developer. If you want to create a one report or one dashboard, these are the steps that we need to take care of. These are the blind steps. But this will be helpful in order to make you happy at the time of training. But there is a best practice always be there. Especially Power BI requires a best practice. I don't know about the other things. Without a best practice, Power BI product will not success. That need to be shut down. Why I will tell you. The best practice is, before explaining a best practice, I will make one statement that Power BI service, I said, it's a software as a service. Power BI Pro, I said, you need to purchase with the $10, right? If you purchase with the $10, you have all the capabilities. But what is the capacity that you can load the data is 10 GB overall, 2 GB per report. After purchasing a license with a $10, your capacity is only 2 GB of data. You cannot push more than 2 GB of data into a cloud as part of a report. But you know that in a live environment how much data you will have. So with a 2 GB of data, your enterprise level organization with enterprise report will work. It will not. Yet at that time, you need to follow the best practices. Okay. Not only that point, there are many points are there which we are going to discuss as part of our sessions. But I am saying you that Power BI service can handle a maximum of a 2 GB of data per data set. But in a live environment, more than 2 GB of data will be there. In order to handle that one, you need to have a separate framework. For that, what you need to do is SQL Server or Azure SQL or Azure Data Warehouse as a source you need to have. Best practice. You need to have a source as these three things. Here, if these are the sources, all your transformations can be performed with the help of SQL. Then after, you need to use tabular SSAS for a modeling, which is nothing but Power Pivot, I said, right? So Power Query is nothing but a transformations which you need to do here. Power Query will be done as part of a first thing. Power Pivot will be done as part of tabular SSAS. Next, Power View can be done directly with the help of Power BI Pro, right? I said Power BI Pro contains a Power BI Power View, or you can use a desktop. This is the best practice. Any company, whatever the company that you are going to join or whatever the teams that you are working with, in your teams, even if you are not working, if someone is working, if this approach is not followed, the product will be shut down. That's it. Even though Power BI, I am saying that boss, Power BI support 50 sources, that is a shit. If you are going to have more than 2 GB of data, that is a shit. So you need to bring your data, Teradata or Oracle, MySQL, any source, you need to load in these sources. Then after, prepare the queries if required with the help of SQL. Then after, need to do a data modeling here. Then after, you need to create a visualizations. If you follow this approach, people will not give you a job. Even if someone give you a job, you need to be ready to get another job. Okay. So this is the best practice. This we are going to see with an example. We are going to spend like 3 or 4 days of time. Why we need to implement this one or how to implement this one, end-to-end framework we are going to have a discussion. That is what I used to call it as a flow implementation as part of my course. Not now, from last 1.5 years I have been telling this one. By speaking only this one, I have 100 people who got a job as a Power BI developers. Even after completion of your course, as part of your interview, if your interview happened for 30 minutes of time, you will speak this one after almost 3 or 4 times. Okay, I am guaranteeing you on that one. At the end of a course, you will get to know. But this is the best practice, and people will look for only this one. People will not look for this one. So anyways, we are going to see this one. And I said, Jayachandra or whoever asked that question, if your data is more than 2 GB, you must get the data into these sources. Then after this framework, then after this framework. Other than that, if you want to work with only Power BI, it will not help you. So this is what we are going to have a discussion. Now, as part of this course, what I am going to cover is, I am going to cover Power BI desktop, service, mobile, report server, flow implementation, that is nothing but best practice implementation, and SSAS, DAX, ADW, ADL, ADF, Azure Data Warehouse. I said right, Azure Data Warehouse. You need to have at least one knowledge in order to crack the interview, like in order to get a job, in order to compete with others. Okay, at this point of time you can go and crack the job, that is not all a big deal, but competition always keep on improving. Okay, so we need to showcase the other things, so that's why I'm providing these things with Power BI. So if you mention I know Azure Data Factory, Azure Data Lake, if you say I know, you will get a job. So why? Because there are no people in the market. These things I'm going to cover, so don't feel it's a shit which I am mentioning as interview questions. Everyone will say the same, but we are going to dedicatedly spend a time on that one. And roles and responsibilities, this is also important. Why? Because even today most of the people, out of 100 job requirements, 98 requirements, they don't know that what is the roles and responsibilities and job description they need to give for a Power BI developer. Out of 100 Power BI jobs, 98 jobs you can see that without roles and responsibilities and without job description. Why? Because they don't know. Most of the companies, they don't have the people who can interview also. Interview panel also not there. So the roles and responsibilities will play a major role, and we are going to cover the roles and responsibilities and interview questions, and all these things will be covered as part of this course. As part of this course means I am going to cover this one as part of my course. Now, fee structure, I've spoken with a lot of people, but I'm clearly, I will not hide the things. I'm discussing it itself. So generally, till 3 months back, we used to go ahead with a fixed price of 15,000 for everyone. Even if they ask SSAS, DAX or not, I will provide everything. But from last 2 months or 3 months of time, many people, as the Power BI what is spread, many people are coming for interaction, and many people are asking for the price is too high and all these things. So that's why I divided the course into multiple parts. One is Power BI, and second one is SSAS plus DAX. And here I have two concepts are there, online and offline, which is starting today itself. Okay, so online, for a Power BI we are charging 12k, and SSAS and DAX 10k we are charging. And if anyone without bargain, if anyone wanted to join, we are providing for a 16k itself. We don't want the 22 or 23k. For 16k we are going to provide an end-to-end pack. Even though you don't have any technical background of MSBI, you can get a job. And as I said, basic SQL is required. I will provide you help that how to get the complete SQL knowledge as part of getting a job. I will help you. So complete pack of Power BI with everything, DAX, SSAS, flow implementation, Power BI, 16k we are providing. And a classroom training. So with everything we are I don't want to say classroom training is a brand. Okay, so for the sake of money, Power BI 8,000, SSAS, DAX 4,000, I don't want to give. If they are interested, they need to come. If they are not interested, they can leave. Once they join with me, if they say that they didn't got a job, that is a shame to me. So 12k both I am going to provide for offline. Why? Because there the people will be there who don't have a jobs, who don't have internet facility, and that's why we started. Even though I'm in Dubai, for the sake of jobless people, or in order to help the people to get a job, I started an institute by spending almost 4 lakhs. So they can attend my classroom training by coming to my institute. By paying a 12k, I can provide everything, but recorded videos will not be provided. Recorded videos of read-only access will not be provided. You can attend the class, you can practice it by staying on my lab, and a complete day you can practice it. Recorded videos will not be provided, notes will be provided. For online people, recorded videos will be provided with read-only access. You can access them at any time. Okay, so this is what the fee structure. If you want only Power BI, 12k is fine. If you want both, 16k. And now, Srinivas, do I need to learn SSAS and DAX? Without this one, you cannot get a job. Without this one, you cannot survive as a Power BI developer. Your resume will not be shortlisted. It will not work out. For the sake of money, I can hide this one. Okay, I cannot, like, this is going to take almost 10 days of time, 12 days of time. Without teaching that one for the sake of 4K, I can save only Power BI and I can start a new batch. But once you've done a course, you need to get benefited, right? So that's why, without any compromise, we are providing SSAs and DAX from a long time. And even today in the Amirpet market, if you go as MSBI training, they will not provide SSAs and they will not provide MDX. From 1 year back itself, we are providing SSAs and DAX for a Power BI. So I don't want to spend much time on a fee. For online course, if you want a complete package, it's a 16K, everything will be covered. You can come and go as a Power BI architect. And for offline, it's a 12K. Without any compromise or negotiation at a fee, you can attend for next 3 days of demo. If you want to continue, you can pay the fee and you can continue, otherwise you can drop. That is what the fee thing. Yes, SSAS and DAX is a mandatory for a Power BI developers. If you want, without that I can provide for 12K. Then after, if anyone come for only this one, 10K will be charged. So that is what the fee thing also. And finally, there are 3 other things are there. What is the scope of it? If you learn by spending a 16K with a Srinivas, this season also very cold, early morning attending a class at 7:30, after spending a 1 month of time on 16K, what is the scope of Power BI? Now you can get a job without any issue. That is the scope. And the prerequisites. Prerequisites, as I said, like technically, SQL also not a mandatory. As part of your learning of Power BI, I will help you people to learn SQL Server. Okay, so SQL Server, if you are already familiar, that is fine. Otherwise, I am a SQL Server trainer also. I will share 10 videos with you people. Those 10 videos will help you to start SQL Server, like how to install, how to write a query, how to execute, what are the basic concepts, everything it will help you. In a 10 days of time, you are going to get everything. Thereafter, if you pay 100 rupees in Amirpet market or Bangalore market, if it is a Bangalore market, it might be 200. Okay, if you pay 100, you are going to get a 1 notes. You can peacefully read everything within a 2 or 3 days of time, and you can say that I know complete SQL Server. You just need a basic understanding of SQL. And once you get a job, you will have a 6 days or 10 days of time. After getting a job, you have another 10 days of time. Within that 20 days of time, you can learn, you can become an expert also. It's not a mandatory. If you start learning SQL, again after 2 months, the Power BI another 5,000 people will be there in the market. So it's not a mandatory that you need to be an expert on a SQL Server, or you need to be aware. I'm going to take care with installation, everything as part of a class, even though you don't know anything. That is what prerequisite. Basic SQL is required. MSBI is not at all required. Basic SQL, you can become an expert. I can guide you. And with respect to infrastructure, everyone requires a Windows 10 or Windows 8 operating system with a 64-bit. Or Windows 7 Service Pack 1 required. Okay, so Windows 10 or Windows 8 with a 64-bit is required to practice everything. 10 or 8 64-bit. Or Windows 7 Service Pack 1 or later is required to practice Power BI and SSAS, SQL Server and everything. I am going to provide all the software. I am going to help you how to install everything. I am going to guide you. You don't need to worry about the softwares and everything. So this is the hardware, like infrastructure requirement and technical requirement. And scope of Power BI. Scope of Power BI, as Brahma said, like data scientists or whoever. Let's consider you are a data scientist, anyone. What they are going to do? They are going to analyze, they are going to implement the algorithms on a data. They are going to discover something, and how they are going to represent. They need a one medium, right? Even though data scientists, even though they discovered a lot by implementing a Python, R and everything, they need to project it. On what way they are going to project it? They require a PPT or they require one reporting tool. So a reporting tool always required, whatever the technology is there. And now in Azure, Microsoft having all the capabilities. Microsoft, whatever you see in the market, everything is there as part of a Microsoft. not only Power BI scope, Microsoft scope understand now. So you feel that like Hadoop is having a good market, data science is having a good market, AI is having a good market. All the shit is available here in Microsoft, and all these are having in next 2 years or 3 years of time. You feel that these are having a good market. So you can observe that if this Azure portal, if I click on a new, you are able to see that AI, all machine learning algorithms are there. You can create a machine learning project with the help of Azure. Data and analytics are there. So HD Insights, Azure Data Lake Analytics. Okay, so everything is available over here. Data Factory, Data Catalog, Data Lake Store, everything is available. And IoT, Internet of Things are there. Event Hubs, Stream Analytics, and everything is there. So data science related concepts are there, like Microsoft SQL Server supports 2017 support a Python, 2016 support a R. You can run R scripts in SQL Server. So R is there, Python is there, Hadoop is there, machine learning is there, IoT things are there. Everything is there in Microsoft. If everything is available in Microsoft, what is the reporting tool Microsoft will use? Power BI is going to use. Okay, it's not simply like reporting developers will have a scope that just creating a visualization, but you have many things are there here. For all these things, the end point is Power BI. Whatever you are going to do here with Stream Analytics or HD Insights, whatever you are going to get the data, you are going to project through Power BI. That I can say as a scope. At limited scope, if you consider all Microsoft in India, I know that I am also a MSBI developer. In Hyderabad, there are a lot of MSBI people are there, lot of Bangalore, all the places. For all the MSBI projects, they need to migrate and they need to work on a Power BI. They need to work on a Power BI. And all the non-Microsoft projects, even Oracle or whatever, Power BI license is $10. What is the license for a Tableau? I think it is $70 or something. I don't know much about Tableau. I don't want to compare. With a $10, you can do a lot with a Power BI. And then after you can embed in another place without spending money, you can make it. So you have a scope of all these things. IoT things are there, artificial intelligence is there, machine learning is there, stream analytics and everything, data lake analytics. Data lake analytics is nothing but Hadoop. Okay, data lake store and databases, Azure databases are there. So everything, Cosmos DB, like document DB is nothing but a Cosmos DB. Like instead of on-premise databases, we have data warehouse SQL. This is the scope. If you get a chance as a Power BI developer at this point of time, whoever learns a Power BI end to end, they can get a job. If you get a job as a Power BI developer, you are going to work on a backward approach. Once you joined as a Power BI developer, there your team has a scope that you can learn on you can work on a machine learning, you can work on IoT things, you can work on Azure. Okay, you can enter into the other fields. And these things in next 10 years, completely Microsoft is there. Even MSBI we have a calls now. Even MSBI having a very less calls now after 8 years. Power BI just started, Azure just started. Next 10 years, this is the scope. You can see all these names as part of other technologies. But today I am saying, in Ameerpet market or Bangalore market, there are no trainers who can teach Azure Data Lake or Azure Machine Learning or Azure Data Warehouse, Azure SQL. No one is there. That is the reason I started a company there. It's not an institute. Okay, we are going to provide all these trainings, Azure trainings, all Azure trainings, instead of MSBI and all those things. Only Azure trainings we are going to provide, and we are going to provide resources to the companies. We are going to provide a service, Azure service to the companies, and I know the scope. That's why we started there. Okay, I don't know how many people joined in that institute today, but we are going to be as Microsoft Azure Solutions company. Even today in the Ameerpet market, there are no one providing these trainings. No one. Power BI, they started 4 or 5 institutes I saw. Out of that, 3 are my resources. Okay, so all these things, this is the scope. If you join as a Power BI developer, you can work on these things. And working on Microsoft technology is nothing but you just need to understand what is what. You don't need to write code. Everything that is going to provide. Even a machine learning also. You just need to understand what algorithm, what source it is going to take, what is the output that is going to give. If you can understand, or if you can by heart it, you can implement that one. Data science and everything. I am working with the data science resources who used to charge per hour $1,000. They are providing nothing. They provide a shit, and the product got failed. One of the digital analytics company, biggest company, got failed. So data science, even though you got a job as a data science developer, what other people know. If I am a director, I hired a data science resource, I paid a lot. If I don't know anything, whatever the shit he is going to do, nothing to me. Okay, everything is not at all useful, and Microsoft provides a easy way to the developer without having a much technical knowledge. Everything will be developed as algorithms. You just need to provide as input, automatically output will be generated. That is what a market looks. If you want to see the scope, search for a jobs in the UK. You can see all these things. In India, you are not yet started. In India, we are going to hype that one, and we are going to become a part of Azure Analytics company. So that's why the scope is this one. There are a lot of things are there in Microsoft Azure. For everything, the endpoint is Power BI. So just become a Power BI developer. You work backward. That will help you as part of your career. And if you don't understand all these things, simply understand this one. So SQL, I will close the class in next 10 minutes of time max. SQL Server, SSIS, SSAS, SSRS. All MSBI people, SQL Server DBA people. This is the framework. Existing MSBI products are there. The SQL Server was replaced with Azure SQL, Azure DW. SSIS was replaced with ADF, Azure Data Factory. Analysis services, we have a multi-dimensional tabular are there. In a multi-dimensional SSAS, the updates were stopped long back. We have Azure tabular SSAS. We don't have Azure multi-dimensional SSAS. Okay, which means it got stopped everything. With respect to multi-dimensional SSAS, there is no scope. And instead of SSRS, Power BI is there. Everything, Power BI is a cloud, Azure is a cloud, Azure Tabular is cloud, Azure DF is cloud, Azure DW, Azure SQL is a cloud, and sometimes your data will be available in a non-structured format, which is nothing but a Hadoop. People used to say, right, no SQL, MongoDB, no SQL. For that, we have a ADL is there, unstructured data, Cosmos DB is there. So all Azure concepts, all Hadoop concepts, all machine learning concepts are there in Power, like Microsoft. But those are not yet popular, which is going to get popular in next 6 months or 1 year of a time. Before getting it popular, if you know something called Azure Data Factory or Azure Data Lake, if you keep it as part of resume, you can make it. So Azure Cosmos DB, this is a document DB. So for unstructured data, structured data, these are the sources. ADF instead of SSIS, we have ADF is there. Instead of SSAS, Azure Tabular is there. Instead of SSRS, Power BI is there. Even though MSBI developers, you need to learn these things in order to survive your job. And DBAS, I think I spent 30,000. I mentioned DBAS also can learn this one. Why? Because everything becomes a cloud environment. So cloud environment means Azure Data Warehouse, Azure SQL, Azure Data Factory, everything will be taken care by the cloud. They don't need any maintenance. You don't need to take any backups manually. You don't need to provide anything of manual support. Restoring like backups, monitoring, everything is not required. Everything will be taken care of by Azure portal. At that time, the scope of a DBA is limited. And frankly telling you, once upon a time, DBA is nothing but if they did a 20 days DBA course, they can get a job. SQL Server DBA. But in order to get a DBA job now, leave about a cloud, they need SQL Server. They need MSBI. They need a DBA skills. Even though they are DBA experts, they will not get a job if they don't know MSBI, they know SQL Server. That is what the picture of DBA is last 2 years of time. So, and even though you know everything, now there are very less scope for a DBS. Why? Because everything moved to cloud. So, whoever want next 10 years of scope, you people need to move into a cloud environment. And this is the early stage of a cloud environment. You people can easily crack it and make it. So otherwise you need to learn 100 technologies to make it after 6 months or 1 year, after 2 years of time. So this is what the scope.